Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're taking a magnifying glass to a fascinating storefront called Immuneblast. Now, at first glance, it looks like your standard hub for natural gym supplements. But as we walk through its catalog together, we're going to trace this absolutely incredible journey, going from everyday health claims to somewhere completely unexpected.
Take a look at this quote. "This isn't just a device, it's a gift from God." I really want you to let that sink in for a second. That is a direct quote right from the Immuneblast storefront. I mean, if you walked into a typical vitamin shop looking for, say, a daily probiotic, you probably wouldn't expect to be pitched a literal gift from God meant to protect your family's most sacred needs, right? But that is exactly what this site does. It builds this fascinating psychological bridge straight from our biological anxieties directly to our environmental fears.
So here's our roadmap for today. 1. Welcome to Immuneblast. 2. Immunity and weight loss. 3. Brain and microbiome health. 4. Harvesting water from air. And finally, number 5, support and FAQs. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. Welcome to Immuneblast, the storefront's core promise.
Notice how they immediately anchor their core promise with social proof right at the metaphorical front door. By putting prominent metrics up, like 150 plus 5-star reviews, and claiming to be trusted by thousands, they essentially bypass the whole need to explain why you should trust them. Instead, they just present their credibility as a totally pre-established fact. It's honestly a highly effective way to make the consumer feel like they're joining a wellness community that's already successful and highly populated.
Moving on to Section 2, Immunity and Weight Loss, Physical Foundations.
Okay, look at how deliberately they target our foundational physical anxieties here. First, you've got Purasaki berberine patches promising effortless weight loss by blocking fat storage. They claim you can lose 12 or more pounds a month. Beside that, there's the LifeWave patches, claiming to be a nerve-supporting breakthrough using phototherapy. And finally, Moringa oleifera capsules for blood sugar support and superfood nourishment. They're really casting a massive net to capture almost any baseline physical concern you might have.
And to back up those claims, well, they deploy highly specific customer anecdotes, like this one from a guy named Ron H., saying his blood sugar stabilized thanks to this herb. It's a smart move because it transforms a simple capsule into a tangible, life-improving intervention endorsed by a real peer. It just feels a lot more personal.
All right, Section 3, Brain and Microbiome Health, Targeted Internal Wellness. Take synaptogen, for example. The site doesn't just broadly say, hey, it's good for your brain. No, they use a highly mechanical narrative. They claim it's an advanced formula designed to actually clear sugar buildup from neurons, which supposedly improves cell communication, memory, and focus. All this specific biological jargon, it's perfectly designed to make the supplement feel incredibly advanced and super targeted.
Similarly, check out Ozalit CS20B. It's framed as comprehensive internal care. Notice the buzzwords they're using here: premium probiotic, 13 science-backed strains, and the gut immune axis. Plus, it targets vaginal microbiome harmony. They are intentionally pulling the consumer deeper and deeper into the complex mechanics of their own biology, pitching this idea of feeling lighter and more energized from the inside out.
Now for Section 4, Harvesting Water from Air, the Survival Pivot.
Okay, this is where things get truly fascinating. We pivot abruptly from internal biology to harsh environmental reality. Suddenly, they introduce a device called Joseph's Well, breaking it down into 3 surprisingly simple steps. Step 1, it pulls humidity right from the atmosphere. Step 2, it filters it to purity using nature's design. And Step 3, it supposedly provides up to 50 gallons of fresh water every single day. Just like that, we have officially moved from everyday immunity to full-blown off-grid independence.
But the absolutely crucial point here is how they actually price this survival tool: $67. And get this, it isn't even framed as a regular purchase, but as a one-time contribution. Positioning a technology like this as an affordable way to protect your family from uncertain supply chains makes it seem like a highly accessible, totally life-changing resource for the everyday consumer.
They really hammer home this value with a direct comparison too. On the left, a $67 contribution for Joseph's Well. On the right, the cost of a single emergency water barrel or a month of bottled water. It's classic marketing, right? Pitching an infinite atmospheric water source for the price of just a few plastic cases of water.
Which brings us to Section 5, Support and FAQs, Answering the Consumer. To close the deal, they deploy a rapid-fire FAQ section to completely neutralize any lingering hesitation. First up,
The obvious question: are the ingredients safe to use?
Their answer is a definitive yes. They reassure the buyer that every ingredient is carefully selected for both safety and efficacy, explicitly promising quality immune support without any harmful additives. It's direct, it's comforting, and it immediately removes the friction of safety anxieties. Next, they address the medical reality of their target demographic. A lot of people looking for health supplements are already on prescriptions. So they pose the very practical question: can I use this with medication? Here, Immuneblast provides the standard responsible medical disclaimer. They highly recommend consultation, telling you to check with a healthcare provider before combining their supplements with your meds. This is smart because it not only protects the storefront legally, but it also positions them as a responsible, health-conscious entity in the eyes of the buyer.
And of course, there's the timeline. Let's be honest, when someone buys a health supplement, they want to know exactly when they are going to feel better. So they ask, when can I expect results?
They actually manage expectations beautifully here. They state that improved resilience is often noticed within a few weeks of consistent use. This creates a highly realistic window that encourages the buyer to stick with the product and, let's be real, likely buy a second bottle, while they patiently wait for those few weeks to pass.
They round the whole thing out with really clear contact vectors: an email address, a phone number, and a support pledge available to help you thrive and stay updated. The underlying message is super simple. They aren't just selling you products. They are selling you an ongoing support system.
Which brings us to the end of today's explainer, and honestly, it leaves us with a truly provocative question. Why do modern wellness catalogs so naturally bridge the gap between internal biological immunity, like a gut probiotic, and external off-grid survival, like a device pulling water straight from the air? What does it actually say about the modern consumer that the desire for a healthy metabolism sits right next to the desire for an off-grid water supply? It really suggests a broader cultural feeling, doesn't it? This deep craving for total self-reliance, both inside our bodies and out in the physical world. I definitely want you to think about that the next time you browse a health store. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this fascinating material, and as always, keep your curiosity sharp.